What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, I saw the dumbest stuff ever on Facebook the other day, and I had to make this video. Alright, so I'm trolling through Facebook the other day, like I always do in one of the million different pages, and I saw an ad for a FROSTBITE roller listed. And got all the little laughing faces at the prices, got all the crappy, ridiculous comments, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, there is a serious disconnect with people that are looking to buy FROSTBITEs and wanting to start a build and not really having any clue or sense of reality as far as what it takes to put an old car like these together. All right, let me just paint a picture for you, and I'm not going to post up the exact ad because I don't want the guy selling the car to get called out or anything like that. It's not the seller that's a problem, but imagine this for a minute. Notchback Aero car, 87, 93, I believe it was a 92. Car had a shaved engine bay, build 8.8. It had fresh paint. It was deep emerald green, had full tubular suspension under the front, had wheels on it. They were just, you know, they weren't anything ridiculously special. I think they were FR 500s, but it had wheels on it, and had black interior. Car was a roller, so no engine, no trans. And the guy was asking $8,000 for it. And he was getting abused in the comments by people that probably weren't going to buy the car anyway. That's the fundamental problem, and let me explain to you why that is a problem. So let's get into a little bit of reality, guys, and a lot of my OG guys already know this stuff, but let's take for a second. You're trolling Marketplace and you see something like this 89 GT on there, and it's a roller, no engine, no trans. It does have an 8.8. And you're asking $1,500, $2,000 for it, and everybody's like, oh yeah, it's a good deal, blah blah blah. It'd probably sell pretty quick. Okay, now let me flip the script on you for a second. All right, so the other side of this story. Okay, let's say just for a second, you bought this car and you paid $1,500 for it. You think you got a deal, you got a project, all of that. So go buy tubular suspension, go shave the engine bay, go clean up and put a decent interior in the car, and then paint the engine bay and paint the car. How much you think you got in it now? You got more than $8,000 in it. Guys, that is what I'm talking about. That is the issue. If a car like that pops up, and it's got no drivetrain, but you've already got $1,000 in front suspension, you've got $1,000 in building an 8.8 with a gear, a diff, axles, all of that good stuff. You've got a clean interior that you're not going to have to spend a fortune on to fix, and you've got a paint job. Guess what? You've got more than $8,000 right there, and the car is still a roller. All right, so let's be realistic. Let's say it still had a dash and all that in there. Just think for a second how much money you're going to have just in odds and ends to have a decent interior, which this car had. The car in the ad, it had it. It had a decent interior. It wasn't 100%, but maybe a couple $100, and the interior would have been nice black interior. So you score a car like this, or hell, we'll go even to this one. And guess what? This is the roller you bought. And you gotta find all these little parts and pieces and things to put it back together. You gotta take that crap into consideration, because that stuff adds up quick. And like I said, car in the ad had a totally smoothed engine bay. It was painted, all the wiring was there, had tubular suspension. So let's just say you scored a deal on this roller, paid 1,500 bucks, you're good, you got a project. Guess what? To do what that roller had that everybody said was overpriced, I mean, you're over $1,000 in front suspension and coilovers, probably 1,500, maybe 2,000 in paint, labor, materials, and parts to get that engine bay looking like that. You starting to see where I'm going with this, guys? And it had paint. It had a paint job on it, a nice paint job on it. Think about this for, if you've never painted a car, look, I get it. A lot of you guys haven't done that, and that's fine. That's totally cool. But I just want to kind of break it down. Just like we did the paint job on two-tone, it was a small fortune. Every little bolt and clip, every piece of trim that was curled up like this that you couldn't reuse, all the door belt moldings, the run channels, the quarter glasses, the lights, all of that adds up. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, you're not gonna get, between the trim, between the paint, between the labor, you know, and then all of the reassembly you have to do, it is a job. Like, guys, the paint job we put on two-tone took forever and cost north of $5,000. And that wasn't and that was, you know, from somebody we knew that takes care of us because we take care of him. So imagine, even if you did it yourself, the paint alone on Project Two-Tone was over $1,000. The clear coat was $600. And then all the little pieces, all the little trim, all the stuff that you're not going to put the old ratty stuff back on, I probably had at least $2,500 between the quarter glasses, the door belts, the run channels, and the emblems and all of that. You got to look a little bit deeper and think and imagine, to get a car where you want it, what is the actual cost? So again, guys, like I know a lot of my OG guys, you already know all this stuff. You know the process. You've done it probably several times. But I hope this reaches the people that don't get it, especially the trolls that were commenting on this guy's post. The car was more than worth what he was asking. I mean, I was looking up and down, looking at all the pictures and just tallying it up. Realistically, I would have probably paid $10,000 for it. And not because Fox Body prices are so high, but I saw all the work and all the materials and all the parts and all the labor that were done to this car already. And essentially, if that car had an engine and trans in it, even if you just put a carbureted small block, if you just put that car back together running and driving, that car would have been probably $17,000, $18,000. So that's what kind of rubbed me the wrong way, is like, you're not looking at the whole picture. You're just looking at a price of a roller and not considering what it would cost you if you bought something like this to get it to that point. And I guess that's the whole rant for the day. Just some of the cars we've built out here, and I'll take Project Two-Tone and Pop's car. Neither of them were over the top. Neither of them had a crap ton of expensive parts. But to get both of those cars from where they were when we started to where they are now was a ridiculous amount of money. And the nickel and diming is just nuts. All the little pieces, all the little parts, the clips, the screws, the speaker grills, the door handle cups, the emblems, the lights, the trim, the molding, it's crazy. And I think a lot of guys miss what it actually takes to get a car from point A to point B, because it will nickel and dime you to death. So I guess I'm gonna come full circle and just say, when you're looking at cars, you got to consider that, whether it's, you know, a beat up POS or it's somebody that's already done a lot of the work for you. Consider where you're trying to take the car, and take into account, you know, if it does have a paint job, if it does have a shaved engine bay, if it does have a build 8.8, if it does have tubular suspension, all of that is stuff you don't have to buy. And all of that stuff is you know, get you closer to where you're at, and you're gonna have to pay for it. The car in this ad was nice. I would like to have it. I don't need it, but I would have paid his asking price because it was worth it from everything that was done. And if that guy's watching, your car was well worth it. And to all the trolls, hey, okay, I can't say that on the video, but to all the people that were balking at him because of the price, clearly you don't understand what it really takes to get a car from something like this that we're standing out by to what he was selling, and can't help you. And I guess I'll come full circle and say to the people that don't get that, maybe it's just because they haven't taken a car from, you know, a POS, basically, for lack of a better term, to something that they're proud of. And so, you know, they have a lack of understanding about the true cost and the true value in seeing a car that basically you could drop a motor and transmission and have a really nice car. That's the difference. So guys, I hope this helps. Pay close attention. Like, you need to know what you want to do as far as your build, and then when you see a, you know, something as far as a project car, you gotta you know, calculate all of the stuff that's already been done, and you can chalk that off of your build. You're probably gonna pay a little bit more, but again, it's gonna be worth it. So I hope that helped, guys. If it did, big thumbs up. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Catch you on the next one.